Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive deep into the explosive drama unfolding on Wednesday, August 27th, where tensions boil over with shocking threats, hidden betrayals, and high-stakes confrontations that could change everything for our favorite Port Charles residents. Let's start with the simmering intrigue surrounding Lucy Coe and the enigmatic Jen Sidwell. In this episode, Lucy finds herself pouring out her deepest worries to Sidwell, who responds with a calm reassurance that they'll figure out a way forward together. Imagine the weight on Lucy's shoulders as she grapples with the fallout from Maxie Jones' devastating coma, a crisis that's left Deception Cosmetics in disarray, with unfinished projects piling up and the team's morale at an all-time low. Sidwell, ever the smooth operator, might step in with some unexpected advice or resources to help stabilize the company, perhaps drawing on his mysterious connections to pull strings behind the scenes. But here's where things get really twisted. What if Sidwell isn't the hero he pretends to be? There's mounting suspicion that he could be the mastermind orchestrating Maxie's medical nightmare, maybe through a carefully planned poisoning scheme designed to eliminate obstacles in his path. Picture the horror if this truth emerges. It could shatter alliances and spark a wave of revenge plots that ripple through Port Charles for weeks. As the episode builds, viewers might catch subtle hints of Sidwell's darker side, like a fleeting glance or a cryptic comment that foreshadows the big reveal down the line, keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. Shifting gears to the intense world of espionage and authority, Jack Brennan steps into the spotlight with a chilling display of power. He unleashes a fatal warning that's sure to send shivers down spines, directed straight at Colette Moreau, who finds herself cornered by his menacing presence. In the preview, Brennan's voice drops to a deadly serious tone as he declares, "If I ever have to tell you again, it'll be the last thing you hear," a line that echoes with unspoken threats of dire consequences. This confrontation likely stems from Colette's reckless actions, perhaps her unauthorized chatter with Pascal about sensitive WSB infiltration details, which Brennan might not fully know about yet, but senses as a blatant challenge to his leadership. Envision Brennan's face hardening, his eyes narrowing in fury, as he asserts dominance in a dimly lit room filled with the hum of covert operations. Colette's position is precarious. She's skating on thin ice, and one wrong move could lead to her paying the ultimate price for betraying the WSB's trust. This moment adds layers to Brennan's character, revealing him as not just a strategist, but a ruthless enforcer who won't tolerate insubordination, potentially setting up future storylines where loyalties are tested and alliances fracture under pressure. Meanwhile, Anna Devane is pushed to her breaking point in a raw meltdown that's all about safeguarding Josslyn checks from escalating dangers. Anna, with her seasoned instincts as a former agent, desperately urges Brennan to call off the entire operation and ensure Josslyn's safe return home, torn between protocol and her protective maternal urges. But Brennan hesitates, weighing the risks and rewards in a high-tension debate that highlights their clashing priorities. Little does he know, the situation has already spiraled into chaos at the luxurious yet treacherous Five Poppies resort, where Josslyn and her companion Vaughn are now captives in a hidden corner of the property, their freedom hanging by a thread amid armed guards and locked doors. Think of the pulse-pounding suspense as Josslyn whispers plans for escape, her resourcefulness shining through even in captivity, while Anna's anxiety builds to a fever pitch back in Port Charles. This subplot weaves in elements of international intrigue, with the resort's opulent facade hiding a web of secrets that could involve shadowy figures, pulling strings from afar, amplifying the stakes for everyone involved and leaving fans wondering if rescue will come in time. On a more personal front, Cody Bell opens up to his trusted friend Dante Falconeri in a heartfelt confession that peels back layers of romantic entanglements and family drama. Cody spills the beans about Christina Corinthos Davis' bold scheme to pay him off for seducing Ava Jerome away from the clutches of Rick Lansing, a plan laced with desperation and ulterior motives. As Dante probes deeper, questioning Molly Lansing Davis' role in this messy web, Cody might finally admit his genuine, deep-seated feelings for Molly, emotions that have been simmering beneath the surface. Complicated by past mistakes and revelations, the conversation could unfold in a quiet corner of the police station, with Dante offering sage advice drawn from his own experiences in love and loyalty, perhaps warning Cody that honesty is the only path forward. However, Cody fears he's ruined any chance with Molly now that she's aware of the full, sordid story, adding a poignant touch of regret to his character arc. This revelation not only humanizes Cody, but also ties into broader themes of forgiveness and redemption that General Hospital explores so masterfully. Speaking of Molly, she's got her hands full updating Michael Corinthos on the whirlwind of drama involving Cody and Ava, but her real worry centers on her mother, Alexis Davis, whose impulsive actions could spell trouble. After Alexis publicly lashes out at Drew Kane over a contentious restraining order, Molly frets that this outburst might backfire spectacularly, potentially jeopardizing legal standings or inviting unwanted scrutiny from authorities. Envision Molly pacing anxiously, her mind racing through worst-case scenarios, where Alexis' fiery temper leads to courtroom battles or damaged reputations, all while trying to maintain her composure as a dedicated lawyer. This thread underscores the Corinthos family's ongoing struggles with boundaries and consequences, blending personal vendettas with professional fallout in a way that keeps the narrative gripping. The episode's climax ramps up at Alexis' home, where chaos erupts in the wake of Ava Jerem's violent clash with Rick Lansing. Ava, in a moment of raw fury, strikes Rick over the head, leaving him with a gruesome, bloody wound that stuns onlookers, including Christina, who watches in wide-eyed horror. As the dust settles, Ava doesn't back down. She issues a stark threat, vowing, "If I go down, she goes down." This ominous warning, aimed at dragging Christina into the abyss over the infamous car crash incident, hangs heavy in the air like a storm cloud. Just then, Alexis bursts in, confronting the pandemonium and facing Ava's wrath head-on, which might extend to exposing embezzlement secrets that could topple Alexis as well. Ava's stance is clear: if prison awaits her, she's taking everyone down with her, perhaps even implicating others in a chain of cover-ups and lies. And if Rick's injury proves fatal, a possibility that looms large with the severity of the blow, the group might scramble into a frantic cover-up operation involving alibis, hidden evidence, and whispered pacts under the cover of night. Next, we will uncover the thrilling possibilities of Jason Morgan stepping up as an unlikely savior in a web of danger and desperation that has ensnared Josslyn, Jax, and Vaughn at the heart of a perilous WSB mission. Diving right into the heart-pounding aftermath of the August 22nd episode, the tension skyrockets as Josslyn Jax makes her way back to the lavish yet foreboding suite, only to discover that her partner in this covert operation, Vaughn, has vanished without a trace. The air thickens with unease, the room's elegant decor now feeling like a trap closing in, when suddenly Pascal emerges from the shadows, his presence commanding and ominous, brandishing a gun that glints under the dim lights. With a sly, calculated suggestion that he can orchestrate a twisted reunion, Pascal forces Josslyn into compliance, escorting her through hidden corridors and secured doors to the undisclosed location, where Vaughn is being detained against his will. This unexpected abduction adds a layer of psychological torment, as Josslyn's mind races with thoughts of betrayal within the WSB ranks, wondering if Pascal's motives tie into larger conspiracies involving international espionage rings that have been hinted at in recent episodes. The scene builds an atmosphere of isolation and vulnerability, emphasizing how quickly alliances can shatter in the high-stakes world of undercover work, leaving viewers to ponder the long-term repercussions and Josslyn's trust in her handlers back home. Of course, the peril doesn't stop at mere captivity, and ruthless assassin had already launched a deadly attempt to erase Vaughn from existence, a botched hit that unfolded in a flurry of shadows and silenced gunfire. This shadowy figure, perhaps a hired gun from a rival syndicate with ties to underground arms dealers, came perilously close to succeeding, his blade or bullet aimed with lethal precision until Josslyn's quick thinking and fierce determination intervened at the last second, turning the tide in a chaotic struggle that left the room in disarray. Envision the adrenaline-fueled moment, Josslyn grappling with the intruder, her training kicking in as she disarms him with the improvised weapon from the suit's furnishings, like a heavy lamp or a shard of broken glass, saving not just Vaughn but potentially herself from a gruesome end. The danger escalates to feverish heights here, with the assassin's failure only heightening the stakes, as it signals to their captors that these agents are resilient targets who won't go down easily. This brush with death underscores the razor-thin line between survival and catastrophe in WSB assignments, where every shadow could conceal a threat, and it plants seeds for future plot twists involving the assassin's possible return, or connections to other Port Charles villains lurking in the background. Indeed, Vaughn and Josslyn should count their blessings for still drawing breath amidst this storm of hostility, as the alternative instant elimination looms like a specter over every moment of their ordeal. being thrust into hostage status, bound in a makeshift holding area, perhaps deep within the resort's underbelly, complete with flickering lights and the distant echo of guards' footsteps, offers a grim reprieve compared to the finality of an assassin's strike, but it's a fragile one at best. Their captors might subject them to interrogations laced with veiled threats, probing for classified intel on WSB operations, or use psychological tactics like isolation to break their spirits, all while time ticks away toward an uncertain fate. Without swift intervention, their luck could run out, leading to executions disguised as accidents or forced disappearances that tie into broader narratives of corruption within global intelligence networks. This precarious situation amplifies the episode's suspense, inviting speculation on how long they can hold out, perhaps drawing on hidden skills like Morse code signaling or improvised escapes that Josslyn learned from her family's turbulent history, keeping the audience hooked on every potential turn. Whenever missions derail into such catastrophic territory on a WSB operation, the specter of irreversible tragedy hangs heavy, transforming routine assignments into life-or-death gambles, where agents' fates hinge on split-second decisions and unseen allies. Hostage scenarios like this one, set against the opulent yet deceptive backdrop of the Five Poppies Resort, with its sprawling grounds and secret passages, often escalate into full-blown crises, where the line between negotiation and violence blurs irreparably. Josslyn and Vaughn's predicament exemplifies this, as they navigate not just physical restraints, but the mental strain of uncertainty, possibly sharing whispered strategies for survival while evading surveillance cameras. Hidden in the walls, the potential for fatal outcomes feels all too real, echoing past General Hospital arcs where characters faced similar perils, and it sets the stage for heroic interventions that could redefine loyalties and spawn new rivalries, inventing a layer of intrigue. Perhaps Vaughn harbors a personal secret like a hidden microchip with vital data that their captors are desperate to extract, adding urgency to their plight and explaining the intensified efforts to keep them alive, at least for now. Enter Jason Morgan, whose presence on the very same property positions him as the potential knight in shadowed armor, ready to swoop in and avert a disastrous end for the beleaguered duo. With his storied history of navigating danger zones, Jason's involvement could turn the tide, leveraging his unparalleled skills in stealth and combat to orchestrate a daring rescue. Amid the resort's labyrinthine layout, picture him moving like a ghost through service tunnels and employee-only areas, gathering intel from overheard conversations or hacked security feeds, all while maintaining his cover to avoid alerting the wrong people. This setup not only heightens the action, but also ties into Jason's ongoing quest for redemption, making his potential heroism a pivotal moment that could mend fractured relationships back in Port Charles. As the episode unfolds, viewers might witness Jason piecing together clues, such as a discarded WSB communicator or a suspicious guard's routine, building toward a climactic confrontation that saves the day. Time and again, when Jason weaves into a storyline, he emerges as the quintessential hero, his actions driven by an unyielding code of protection that has defined his character. Through countless trials, General Hospital fans have witnessed this pattern unfold repeatedly, from high-octane chases to quiet acts of sacrifice, solidifying Jason's role as the go-to rescuer in moments of crisis. In this instance, while he's already deeply entangled in efforts to extricate Britt Westburn from her own tangled web of troubles, perhaps involving blackmail or coerced alliances, Jason's scope could expand to encompass Josslyn and Vaughn, turning a solo mission into a multifaceted operation. Adding inventive flair, imagine Jason discovering a concealed armory within the resort, arming himself with gadgets that enhance his already formidable abilities, or using his mechanical expertise to sabotage vehicles for a getaway, all while flashbacks remind us of his past heroics that mirror this very scenario. This rescue could evolve into an exhilarating team effort if Britt Westburn joins forces with Jason, blending their unique strengths in a high-risk bid to free Josslyn and Vaughn from their confines. The dynamic between Jason and Britt, charged with unresolved tension and budding chemistry, would make for captivating viewing as they coordinate moves, Britt perhaps providing medical aid or distractions with her sharp wit, while Jason handles the brute force. Envision sparks flying not just from gunfire, but from their intense collaboration, dodging patrols in moonlit gardens or hacking into digital locks, which could ignite romantic undercurrents and lead to heartfelt admissions amid the chaos. This partnership adds a fresh dimension, potentially exploring themes of trust and second chances, as Britt's involvement stems from her own stakes in dismantling the threats at the resort. Regardless of the details, the instant Jason learns of Josslyn's presence on the grounds, his protective instincts will ignite like wildfire, compelling him to mobilize every resource at his disposal to ensure her safety. As the devoted guardian figure to Carly Spencer's family, Jason's bond with Josslyn runs deep, rooted in years of watching over her through Port Charles storms, making her peril a personal affront that demands action. He might not grasp the full WSB intricacies or the web of betrayals at play, but that won't matter. His focus will zero in on extracting Carly's cherished daughter alive, perhaps enlisting discreet contacts or using improvised diversions, like staged explosions to create openings. This drive highlights Jason's unwavering loyalty, a trait that endears him to fans, and sets up emotional reunions that could heal old wounds. ABC General Hospital spoilers tease that Jason could receive jolting revelations about Josslyn's dire straits, propelling him into immediate, decisive moves to safeguard both her and Vaughn from the encroaching threats. Next, we will learn about the thrilling possibility of Ryan Pave's dramatic comeback to Port Charles, tied to that mysterious body spotted in the water by young Danny Morgan. In the latest buzz from the ABC soap opera world, whispers are growing louder about a potential splashy re-entry for fan-favorite actor Ryan Pavey. Picture this: the show's recent teaser clip has everyone on edge, showing Danny Morgan and his buddy Rocco Falconeri hanging out at the foggy docks, where Danny suddenly spots what looks like a lifeless form bobbing in the murky waves. This sighting comes hot on the heels of a tense confrontation where Ava Jerome, ever the fiery art dealer, grabs a hefty silver orb from her decor collection and clocks Rick Lansing right over the head. The editing in the promo cleverly hints that Rick might not make it through the episode's airing, from August 25th to 29th, 2025, leaving viewers to wonder if his scheming days are finally over. But hold on. Devoted General Hospital enthusiasts, this daytime powerhouse has a notorious habit of throwing curveballs in its previews, keeping us guessing until the very last moment. Let's unpack this intrigue step by step, exploring how it could all tie back to Pave's much-anticipated return. To start, even if Rick Lansing does end up in a perilous spot after Ava's impulsive strike, that floating figure Danny notices might not be him at all. Imagine the docks at dusk, with the water lapping against weathered pilings, and the boy's innocent outing turning into a heart-pounding discovery. Rick, with his slick lawyer tactics and endless family drama ties, brings a unique spark to the canvas. Think of his complicated history with Sonny Corinthos, and his on-again, off-again romances that keep Port Charles buzzing. Killing him off prematurely would rob the show of some juicy plot potential, like unresolved custody battles or hidden alliances. Perhaps the promo is a clever misdirection, and Rick survives with just a nasty bump, stumbling away to plot his next move. Instead, the body could belong to an entirely different character, someone from the past whose reappearance would shake up the town's dynamics in unexpected ways. Adding to the mystery, we've heard rumors of underwater currents in Port Charles Harbor that could carry drifters from miles away, making this discovery feel like fate intervening in the lives of these young characters. Moreover, it's crucial to remember that spotting a body doesn't automatically mean tragedy has struck. In the world of soaps, where twists abound, this could be a survivor clinging to life, desperately paddling toward the shore after a boating mishap or a botched escape. Envision the scene expanding. Danny, with his wide-eyed curiosity inherited from Mom Sam McCall, points out the shape, while Rocco, echoing his father's tough Falconeri roots, jumps into action. The person might be feigning death to evade pursuers, or perhaps they're unconscious from exhaustion, their clothes sodden and hair matted against the waves. This setup allows for heroic moments, like the boys alerting authorities or even attempting a makeshift rescue with nearby ropes and life preservers. Such a scenario would not only heighten the drama, but also weave in themes of youthful bravery, contrasting the darker undercurrents of adult betrayals like Ava's attack on Rick. Inventing a bit of backstory here. Maybe this floating enigma has ties to an old smuggling ring that once plagued the docks, adding layers of intrigue that connect to Port Charles' shadowy history of crime and redemption. Timing plays a pivotal role in this speculation, as reports indicate Ryan Pavey is gearing up for a storyline comeback sometime in September 2025. If Danny and Rocco's shocking find happens toward the tail end of this week's episodes, it sets the stage perfectly for a reveal in the early days of the next month. Think about the cliffhanger potential. The camera pans in as the body is hauled onto the pier, Water dripping from familiar features that fans haven't seen in years. Pavey, known for his charismatic presence and brooding intensity, could be the one emerging from the depths, gasping for air and igniting a firestorm of questions. To flesh this out, perhaps his character has been in hiding, faking his death to protect loved ones from a vengeful foe, only to wash up now due to a storm or a failed alliance. This would align with General Hospital's love for resurrection arcs, where presumed dead figures return with secrets that upend relationships and alliances across the board. Delving deeper, while neither Pavey nor the show's executives have spilled the beans on his exact role, the possibilities are endless. If he's stepping back into the shoes of Nathan West, the noble detective whose death left a void in Maxie Jones' heart, it would be a monumental twist. Nathan's demise in 2018 was a tearjerker, involving a gunshot and a heroic sacrifice. But soaps often bend reality with lookalikes, twins, or miraculous survivals. Rocco and Danny, being kids who were toddlers or not even born during Nathan's heyday, wouldn't recognize him at all, which amps up the suspense. Imagine their confusion turning to awe as this stranger is revived, muttering cryptic words about unfinished business in Port Charles. Alternatively, Pavey could be portraying a new character, say a rugged outsider with connections to the Casadini family intrigue, or a long-lost relative of the Spencers, washing ashore with documents that expose buried scandals. This anonymity would allow for slow-burn revelations, with hospital scenes where doctors puzzle over his identity, while viewers scream at their screens in recognition. The spoilers from ABC General Hospital are painting this return as a blockbuster event, demanding an entrance that's nothing short of explosive, pulling a seemingly drowned man from the harbor, only for the audience to realize it's Pavey, would deliver that wow factor in spades. Envision the ripple effects. News spreads like wildfire through town, drawing in characters like Nina Reeves for emotional reunions, or Dante Falconeri for investigative prowess. To add fresh elements, perhaps the rescue uncovers hidden artifacts on the body like a locket with a photo of a beloved character or a coded message hinting at larger conspiracies involving the WSB. This could spiral into multi-episode arcs, blending action with heartfelt moments, such as Maxie confronting her past grief or Peter August's lingering shadow resurfacing. Fans would be glued to their seats, debating theories online and reliving Pavey's past performances that made Nathan a standout. As we wrap up this deep dive, the excitement builds for what could be one of General Hospital's most memorable comebacks. Whether it's Rick's fate hanging in the balance, Ava's reckless actions catching up to her, or Pavey's character rising from the watery depths, the docks of Port Charles are set to become the epicenter of drama. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest spoilers. What do you think? Is this the perfect setup for Pavey's return?